Hello everyone, good morning. How are you doing today? Today is 17th of June 2024. Today we are going to be talking about neglect or act of omission. That's exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Neglect or act of omission. What is this neglect or act of omission? Neglect, it can include ignoring medical, emotional, or physical care needs, failure to provide access to appropriate care and support or educational services. It can also involve withholding the necessity of life, such as medication, adequate nutrition, and heating. Now, we are going to look into the warning signs of this neglect or act of omission. So let's look at the warning signs of neglect and act of omission. What are exactly the warning signs of neglect and act of omission? The warning signs include dirty or unhygienic environment. When people are unkept, it is a sign of neglect. You see, we have poor personal hygiene or physical condition, especially people that do not, brush their teeth, take their bath, or do all the necessary things that's supposed to do to make them smell nice or to make them look good. It can also be an act of neglect or act of omission. Pressure sores or ulcers, also in hospitals, can also be an act of neglect. Malnutrition or unexplained weight loss can also be signs of neglect. Untreated injuries or medical problems, inconsistent or reluctant contact with medical and social care, failure to engage in social interaction, especially people that do isolate themselves. People that do isolate themselves and people that are always harsh on other people. That can also be a sign of neglect. Inappropriate or inadequate clothing can also be a sign of neglect. So the question is neglect bad within the society? We have different forms of neglect. We have childhood neglect, a situation whereby, of course, we are going to talk about childhood neglect. A situation whereby parents neglect their children and they don't pay very much attention on the children, and eventually it turns out to be a disastrous effect on the mentality, the psychology, and the emotion on the children. And you can also see that in their physical appearances too. Look at the pictures over there. You can see an elderly person that the nurse is shouting at this elderly person. And why is the nurse shouting at this elderly person? Because the elderly person peed on, it could be a lot of reasons. Maybe the elderly person peed on the pants, or the elderly person pooped on the pampers, or it could be because of the fact that the elderly person have not taken his medication. So neglect can occur in all aspects of life, whether in medical aspect or in home environment or even in the society. Neglect appears everywhere. So we should look after it and make sure that it's not something that gradually destroys people or individual and eventually destroys the society. Thank you very much, as I'll post the questions regarding this neglect, and hoping to hear from you soon enough.